Hello everybody, GL1 here, and today we are going to talk about the Decepticon Transformer Trypticon, because everyone needs a little bit more Trypticon in their lives. And one of the things that you may notice about Trypticon is that it looks a lot like Mechagodzilla in its own way. Trypticon, however, has 3 fingers, and Mechagodzilla from 1974 has 4, but the idea is still the same. You have a mechanized theropod, which is a bipedal carnivorous dinosaur in robot form. And this is the 1974 version, and then we have Mechagodzilla from Godzilla vs. King Kong, 2021, and again, we have 4 fingers, but we do have the opposing claw type hand for grasping things. So, this is a human-like hand because the way that the movie was done back in 1974 is that it was a guy in a suit. So when you have computer graphics and robotics, you can make it, more, robotic looking. And this Godzilla has articulating thighs that go in all directions. You can turn his foot, his shoulders go in all directions, and his mouth opens and closes. And the tail is flexible and moves around. But you could pay more, and you could get the Mechagodzilla that's the size of this 2015 reissue of Trypticon. The original was 1986, so this is the reissue. I don't have the original, but this Mechagodzilla from the 2021 movie is about the same size, and his wrists, this time his hands close and they turn, but his shoulders only go back and forth, they don't go out, and his legs only go forward, they don't go out. His feet do turn, and the mouth does not move. So it's bigger, but they don't give you everything. The tail is not as flexible, but it does have an extra joint in the middle. So that's what you get. It doesn't light up, it doesn't make any sounds, but it's bigger. So anyway, I just wanted to show that comparison between Trypticon and Mechagodzilla. And now we will get on with this reissue, the 2015 Trypticon. And I didn't realize that that's what I was buying when I bought this. So I think I got it for about $129 at the time. And I thought, wow, I'm getting a great deal on the really big one that came out, which we will be seeing that too. And then this came in the mail, and I was like, okay, it's not the one I expected, but it's kind of neat. And this one will walk. So it runs on a couple of C batteries, which those go in here, and then that slides here. And I thought I'd show you this because it's not always very obvious where the batteries go on this. So if you have lost your manual, then this will be a little helpful to you. All right, and there's your on-off switch, and there he goes. Let's see how well this works. Usually walking things don't work very well. They get hung up on their own legs. But there he is, heading towards Mechagodzilla. And let's see how that looks from the front. All right, as it's coming towards us. So far, very good walking, though. See, oftentimes these things get caught. But this one is not doing that, so very good. I have a walking theropod large one that's almost the same size as this, and that's in my episode on Zoids, and that one always gets stuck while it's walking. So, all right, so this Trypticon here, what we got is we have, these are the eyes, and then we have like a laser that can extend out here, and we have a mouth that opens, and then we have lasers in there. And let's see, we have these little rockets, but they don't launch out. They will let's see, I believe they just extend. You just pull them out and then they extend further. So they go in and you extend them out, and that's all they do. So I guess, you could pretend that they are lasers, I guess. They're getting ready to fire. And Trypticon has wheels in the back for rolling while it's walking. And then this can fold out. And so if he needs, some other kind of stability, there's also like little rockets there that can look like they're firing. And on Trypticon's chest is this vehicle. And that turns into a transformer as well. So this fella here, his name is Full Tilt, and this is the vehicle transformer Decepticon. As you see, the Decepticon symbol that travels around with Trypticon, and then that folds up into a vehicle. So we can get that, show you that. There we go. All right, that rolls like that. And while I was looking that up, Trypticon turned away, and another thing about Trypticon people don't realize is he likes to eat various versions of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And this time he was eating The Rock from the movie Rampage. So, Trypticon, it's, he just can't help himself. He just keeps going after Dwayne Johnson. And this version has a little removable knife there, little boot knife. And, let's keep Trypticon happy, and he can have Dwayne Johnson. Now, Trypticon changes into three different things. It changes into a spaceship, it changes into a base as well, like a star base. So we're going to be exploring that next. All right, and so now Trypticon has turned into a base, and if you thought that you had nearly enough fun with Trypticon, think again, because when you turn it on here, all right, you get those rotating. One's like a radar and the other's a gun. Periodically they rotate, and then you have a laser here that turns on, and you can set up Dwayne Johnson right there, and there's a little lever, and if it doesn't get stuck, there you go. You can have fun with Dwayne Johnson again with Trypticon. Now you have helipads here, so if you have transformers that are helicopters, they can land there. Turn that off, and this comes off here, and you can put it on here, and now you have a little tank, so that can drive around, and you have yourself a little tank to help protect Trypticon from other angles. And then this also comes apart, and I guess you can find different ways and different things you can do with that. And if that weren't enough fun, you can also change these out with these, and now you have a different radar dish and gun. Oh, what joy you can have with Trypticon. So, and then these come off. So I just keep all these accessories in a bag, and then we're going to turn Trypticon into a spaceship. Okay, so here is Trypticon in spaceship mode, and what you do is the tank comes apart. Okay, and that was actually like that. Okay, so those two pieces come apart, and then they have spots that you can stick them in there, and the motors still work to turn your little gun turrets. Periodically they turn. You see, they don't turn continuously. And then you can turn on your laser light, and you have your guns here, and you have guns here, and then it lifts off, And oh man, it was on top of Dwayne Johnson. Ah, Trypticon always having an issue with Dwayne Johnson. And then in 2017, another giant appeared. Another Trypticon. Generations Trypticon. Gigantic. So much larger than the Generation 1. And what's that in his mouth? Oh no, it's Dwayne Johnson from the G.I. Joe movie. Ah, Trypticon. You just can't stop eating Dwayne Johnson. Well, he is meaty, and you are a meat eater. So this Trypticon is gigantic. We even have to raise the camera up. All right, so you'll see the similarities. It has your retracting lasers, and you have your mouth that opens with lasers inside, and you have your nasal laser, and the head turns, and then you have this little fella up here, the necro figure, right, which is part of this line of Transformers. This is the Titans Return line, and this figure, you can see, becomes a head. So it's a little Transformer, and then a robot, and then he becomes a head for the new full tilt action figure, which is again kept on the chest. And there you are. You have a full tilt vehicle mode of the Decepticon. So we can compare the full tilt figures from the two different Trypticons. And this Trypticon is much larger and is not motorized. And I don't think you could really get a motor to really move this thing very easily. But its transformation is similar to the Generation 1 transformation, just much larger and much better articulation. And let's transform this fella down here. Okay, so I'm going to transform full tilt. And it transforms actually pretty easily. So we'll flip out here. This is not cooperating too much there. There we go. It folds down. And you have your hands flip out. And for the head, see, I have a small robot. Transforms to a head. And he has a laser pistol. All right. So there's full tilt. Right next to our gigantic Trypticon. And we will transform Trypticon. But before we fully transform him, let me show you the kind of articulation you can get with this guy. So he's got his tail up off the ground, and he can really lean forward. He can maneuver his lasers. Oh, at poor Dwayne Johnson. There you go. Ready? Well, let's give him a Dwayne Johnson snack, just to keep him happy. In you go. Okay, and after you transform it to its gigantic base, you can see that the other Trypticon can fit, you know, within scale of this. I mean, it's so big that he can be actually part of the adventure, and there you have, you can use the tank from the other Trypticon set to, travel down this space conduit. And the gun accessories from the original Trypticon can also fit on here. So you can fit all these radar pieces, because it didn't come with a bunch of accessories like this, but they made it so that if you have other transformers, you can place it has, places that will fit. It's the right fitting for a lot of different accessories. So there you go. There's the giant Trypticon in space station mode. And let's see, this folds up like that. And then, as you can see, it's kind of this nice clear plastic. It's falling over. You have your ramps. You have your helipads back there. Your lasers here. But yeah, nothing's motorized, but that's all right. And we're going to transform this into a spaceship. Okay, and here it is in giant spaceship mode. All right, and then our transformer full tilt can ride up there. And, we can still keep those accessories from the other Trypticon on there. And then we can pick that up and take off. It's like the big Nemesis ship that Megatron has. Oh, man, and there's Dwayne Johnson. I guess it landed on top of him. Poor Dwayne Johnson from G.I. Joe. Well, we're not done because I have one more Trypticon to show you. Here it is, folks. Tiny little Trypticon. These come off. This is from an independent company. Dr. Wu makes this, and you can see it has the little gun up in there. And in spaceship mode, still has the mouth. And you have the lasers in there, and actually they will lift up. Just have to have enough fingernails to prop those up. Not so easy. I don't have... Getting there. Okay. Using a screwdriver, I was able to get that. All right. And then this comes up and separates. And these even are spring-loaded. Kind of push on them and they pop out like that. All right, so that is spaceship mode. Although this has a lot of variability. You can manipulate it into different modes. And here's you have lasers there as well. So let's change this. All right, and here he is in dinosaur mode. And oh man, I'll tell you, no matter what, now he's eating the head of Dwayne Johnson when he is in Black Adam mode. Oh, man, Dwayne Johnson, it just doesn't matter what part he plays, he's going to get eaten by Trypticon. All right, well, let's let go of that head there. All right, and there's Dwayne Johnson. See, he's okay. All right, he's a tough guy. So here he is in... Well, they say T-Rex mode, but T-Rex only had 2 fingers, and this has 3. So it could be Metracanthosaurus, which had 3. All right. It's a little bit too big to be Allosaurus in terms of the head proportion to the body, but Metracanthosaurus, it's more that proportion. Now you can see it has, good articulation. The ankles really move around. You have your tail flexibility. And here is full tilt. Now, it doesn't transform into anything, but it actually has moving wheels. And you see the head there? And it just kind of stands up. And you can just stand it there. And there he is, full tilt. But he's pretty small, so he's not full of anything, really. He's quite tiny. Whoops. But there he is as a vehicle. You just flip him over. All right, so let's change this Trypticon again into base mode. And here it is, your tiny Trypticon space station. Look familiar? A lot like the one behind it, right? And there you go. And then he can just sit right up on there. And I think this time, it looks as if Dwayne Johnson is not going to be crushed by a giant space station. In fact, I think this one he can just pick up and fly off with. Now, I did not realize this was this tiny when I purchased it. It was $44, and much to my surprise, it's tiny. But after playing with it, opening it, the quality of the plastic, it's a softer plastic, so it's not going to break. And really just the intricate detail and the way that you can make it into different configurations, more configurations than the big one, and it's easy to take with you. I was very pleased with this. So, you have all these little nooks and things you can do. You can take these off and, find another place probably to put them on, and, somewhere next to the head or something like that. So yeah, so they, there's just different things they fold up like that, and then there's different options you can have with these toys. So actually, I think there's a little button that's going to release it, but getting it to stay, not so easy. But anyway, very cute, lovable, and transforms the same way, really, as the big one. You got your little wheel there. So you even have a wheel when it's in spaceship mode for landing. So really, they thought of everything on this. And then, and then these can go back here, which is a little bit of a different spot. And there you go, back into dinosaur mode pretty easily. And then you can even have that laser firing, he can have that as well at the same time. So pretty neat, all these different lasers he can have firing at the same time in his mouth, everything, the one on his, his forehead. So quite a little powerful fella. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.